of our story is called Why Fir Tree Keeps His Leaves. Okay, so as you see here from the title that the story is about a tree, and this kind of tree is called fir tree. So we have trees. We all know that there are different kinds or types of trees. Okay, and we know that in fall the leaves usually fall from the tree and they change colors and they change colors and they fall, and then by springtime new leaves come and they are green again. Okay, so today we'll be learning about a kind of tree that doesn't loses its leaves. Okay, so this is the fir tree that we're talking about, and this tree wants to know why he doesn't loses any of his leaves. Okay, and this week we also have a different genre. Okay, and it's a myth. We'll find out what a myth is, but after we read the story. Okay, so, and the important question for this story is, what do myths help us understand? Okay, so let's read first and then we'll explain. Try to pay attention to the detail, and then we will try to guess together what a myth is. Okay, on page 407, long ago in ancient times, Mother Nature gave each tree a different purpose. However, she did not share her reasons with the trees. Fir Tree had 3 friends, Maple, Oak, and Elm. During the first summer, they saw bird and squirrel play in farmers' corn and tomato crops. The breeze blew and rustled their leaves. The shining sun warmed them. Okay, so as you see here, it says long ago in ancient times. Long ago means we usually use this word for something in the past, and ancient means also old times. So we know that this story is from the past. Mother Nature gave each tree a different purpose. Mother Nature here means nature, things that are made by God. Okay, so it's like a name or a title for nature. So what did nature give each tree? It gave each tree a different purpose. We took the word purpose before. When did we take it? We took it when we took author's purpose. So the word purpose means reason. So Mother Nature gave each tree a different reason. Okay? However, she did not share her reasons with the trees. So in nature, we have different kinds of trees, and gave each tree a reason, but she didn't explain, which is nature. She did not explain why each tree is different. Okay, what's the purpose of each tree? So fir tree here, he had 3 friends. Who are his friends? Other types of trees. We have maple and oak and elm. These are other kinds of trees. Okay, what happens? During the first summer, they saw bird and squirrel play in farmers' corn and tomato crops. So in summertime, these trees saw bird and squirrel play in the farmers' corn and tomato crops. They saw a bird and a squirrel playing in between the crops. Okay, we said that crops are large numbers of grown fruits or vegetables. Okay, so in this farm, what did the farmer grow? He grew corn and tomatoes. Those are his crops. And the bird and squirrel were playing in the farm. Okay, the breeze blew and rustled their leaves. So breeze means the wind blew and started to make a cracking sound of the leaves. And the shining sun warmed them. So when the sun shines on us, it warms the land or the area. Okay, that's what the first 2 paragraphs were talking about. Then the first fall arrived. Farmer harvested what he had grown. Maple, oak, and elm's leaves turned beautiful shades of orange, red, and yellow. The leaves shone as golden as the sun. Fir tree's leaves stayed green. Okay, so what happened when the season changed and fall started? Okay, in fall we know that it's usually time for the farmers to harvest or pick their crops. Okay, so this is what the farmer did. He started picking his crops. And what happened to Fir's friends, maple and oak and elm tree? The leaves started to change colors. What colors did the green leaves change into? They changed into orange, red, and yellow. Okay, and they say that the colors were so beautiful and they were golden, like the gold color as the sun. But the only tree that stayed green was the fir tree. Okay, let's see why. Fir tree complained to Mother Nature. Complain means to go and say, why did you do this? So fir tree went to Mother Nature. I don't like my leaves. I want to change colors like my friends' leaves. So what did Mother Nature tell him? Be patient, Mother Nature replied. You will learn your purpose. So did fir tree like staying green? No, he didn't like it. He was very angry and he went to complain. He said, Mother Nature, I want to change my leaves. Why am I not changing the leaves like my friends? So what did Mother Nature say? She said, be patient. Remember the word patient means to wait. You will learn your purpose. You will learn why your leaves did not turn or change colors. Okay? On page 408. So fir tree waited. The temperature dropped even more. Bird flew south and squirrel was nowhere around. Maple, oak, and elm lost their leaves, but fir trees' green leaves remained. Soon snow blanketed the ground. Okay, so after fall, winter started. So in winter, we know that the weather becomes very cold because the temperature starts to drop. When the temperature starts to drop, that means it starts to be very cold. And we see snow and all that. So how do these trees adapt? All the trees all of the trees, not only do they change color, they start to fall. And trees are only left with branches. There are no leaves. Okay, so all of his friends, maple, oak, and elm, lost all of the leaves. The only tree that had green leaves was fir tree. Soon snow blanked the ground. Okay, so now it started to have snow, and it covered, all the snow covered all the ground and all the trees. Again, fir tree protested to Mother Nature. Okay, he went to complain again. Why am I different? Why don't I have stages and change like my friends? I seem to be stuck in one period of life. Okay, so he's not happy. He goes and complains to Mother Nature. Why am I different? Why don't I change like my friends? Why don't I have stages? Remember the word stages means steps. Why don't I have green leaves? And then my leaves start to change colors, and then the leaves start to fall, and then they grow again. Why don't I change? I feel like I'm stuck. I never change. So what did Mother Nature say? She said, be patient. Be patient, Mother Nature replied. Soon you will develop an understanding of your purpose. Soon you will grow to understand what's the reason why your leaves don't change. Okay, just then Squirrel appeared on the edge of the forest. She was cold. When she went inside the forest, she saw Maple. She asked if she could build a warm nest in his branches. Okay, so who did they see? They saw Squirrel. Where the word appears, Squirrel appeared, means you can see her. She came out of nowhere, and you can start to see her. Where did she come from? She came from the edge of the forest, means from the end or the beginning of the forest. And she was so cold. If you guys don't know, this is a squirrel. Okay, if you cannot remember, this is a closer picture of a squirrel. Okay, so Squirrel came from the edge of the forest and she was very cold. What did she do? She went to Maple tree, and she asked, can I build a warm nest in your branches? Okay, you guys know what branches are. The brown the brown small brown parts that come out of a tree. Okay, so we have the trunk, we have the big trunk, and then we have the branches that come out of the tree where the leaves usually grow on. Okay, so what did Maple say? Maple said he didn't have any leaves. She asked Oak and then Elm. Both said the same thing as Maple. She was still bitterly cold. Squirrel approached Fir Tree. "Excuse me," she said. "May I build a nest in your branches?" Okay, so she was so cold she couldn't take it. She kept going to the trees. "Can I build a warm nest?" First she went to Maple, and then she went to Oak Tree, and then she went to Elm Tree. She asked him, "Can I build a nest in your branches?" But they said, "We don't have leaves. You cannot build a nest and stay warm." So she said, "Oh, I'm so cold. What can I do?" And then she went to Fir Tree. She said, "Can I build a nest in your branch? I'm so cold." So Fir Tree said, "Yes, it would be nice." So Squirrel ran up Fir Tree's branches and she made her nest. Soon she was warm, comfortable, and asleep. So who was the only tree that she could build a nest so she can stay warm? Fir Tree. Why? Because he was the only tree that had leaves. So when she built her nest inside on the branches and they had leaves, she was able to get warm. Okay, and she felt comfortable. Comfortable means to feel relaxed. And after she felt warm and relaxed, she started to fall asleep. Fir Tree finally understood that his green leaves provide means to give what someone needs, a warm shelter for animals in the winter. From that moment, Fir Tree was happy to be different. Still today, he remains proud of his evergreen leaves. Okay, so when Fir Tree saw that Squirrel was warm and comfortable, he understood. He started to understand why he was the only tree that had the leaves all throughout all 4 seasons, because he was the only tree that could provide or give shelter for animals that didn't have homes. Okay, so in this kind of tree, they are the only trees that can give these animals shelter, and he understood his purpose. He was happy to be different, and he is proud of the way he is. Okay, so if you guys think about it, are we all the same? No, we're all different. Some of us are tall, some of us are short, some of us are very thin, some of us are light, some of us are dark. So we're different. Does that make us better than each other? No, it's okay to be different. And the same thing with the trees. Sometimes you want to be the same like your friend, but it's okay to be different. You guys, being different can make you be unique or special. Okay, and this is, and if you don't understand now, you will grow or develop to understand as you grow up. Okay, so that is the message of this story. If you guys remember what the word message mean, the message or the idea of the story is the theme. Okay, and we will go back and try to look for the clues to prove that this is the theme of the story. But let's answer this question again. It says, how did Fir Tree develop differently from his friends? If I ask you, how is Fir Tree different from his friends, Maple, Oak, and Elm Tree? If you think about it, it's the only tree that didn't change its leaves throughout the seasons, right? Why? Now at the end of the story we know why. Because this tree provides shelter for animals to keep warm in the cold weather. Okay, let's look at the reason now. Here I just said theme. The theme is the idea or the main message of the story. Okay, so the theme of the story is the main message the author wants to tell the reader. Okay, the theme is the message or the idea that the author wants to tell the readers. Okay, so The author wants to teach you something. He wants to teach you that, as I said, that it's okay to be different. It's okay to not be exactly like your friend. Okay, let's see if I'm right or not. Let's read clue number 1. It says here, fir tree wants to be like his friends. Okay, Mother Nature tells him he will learn his purpose. Okay, remember when the other trees started to change their color, so fir tree complained, why am I not changing? So she tells him, be patient, you will learn your purpose. Again, another thing, what happens later when the leaves lose when the trees lose their leaves and they're just trunk and their branches. He still complained and said, why am I not changing? Why am I the same throughout the year? So what did Mother Nature say? Be patient. This would be the second clue. Okay? And this gives you, and then we learned at the end of the story, if we add another clue, we learned that the fir tree was the only tree that can provide shelter for animals in winter. And the theme or the idea of the story is it's alright to be different. It's okay. It doesn't make you less of a person. It doesn't make anyone better than you. Okay? Now let's go to the genre. This is the first time we've ever taken this genre, and it's a myth. Okay? What is a myth? Okay? As the story said in the beginning, a long time ago in ancient times. So does this mean the story is new? No, the story is an old story. What about, do you think it's real or not real? Do we have trees that talk? Does nature talk to us? And does trees talk? No. So it's an old story from the past, and it's a made-up story. What else? It's trying to explain. It has a message. It's trying to teach us. It has a message for us to understand. Okay, so this story is not like to inform us something like gravity or something real. No, it's trying to teach us a lesson. It has a message for us, for the readers, to learn from. So myth, why is fir tree keeps his leaves a myth? A myth is a made-up story. It explains why things are the way they are. So this story explained why this fir tree is the way it is. Why didn't it change like the other trees? So it's an old made-up story from the past. It explains why things are the way they are. Okay, it explains why this tree does not change its leaves throughout the season, and it has an important lesson or a message. This story had a message for us. The message was, it's okay to be different. You don't have to be exactly like everyone else. Okay, and that was the lesson. And context clue. Context clues are words. Like sometimes in a sentence, it gives you a word, and it tells you later on, or the next sentence tells you what the word it means. Okay, like for example, farmer harvested what he had grown. Later on, you'll find out from the paragraph that the farmers harvested the crops that it grew. Harvest means picked or gathered. So context clues: to understand the meaning of a word you don't know, look at the other words in the sentence for clues. So if there's a word that you don't understand from this sentence, does that mean you will not understand the whole thing? No. Continue reading until you get what the sentence is trying to tell you. All right? Okay? So, we've practiced this before. So, like for example, if we took the word complained. So if the fir tree went to complain to Mother Nature, and it showed you later on the way he was talking. Why am I not changing? Why am I? So it shows you that complaining means that to say that you're not happy about something, that you want something to be, you're not okay, or you don't agree with the way something is. Okay. So if So if there's a word you don't understand, continue reading or reread it again so you understand what the word or what the sentence is trying to teach you. And we will be practicing this, okay? All right.